Nice, let's go, bye-bye.
What up, gang? The ground loot hype is real for this season. With so many meta or near meta options, people have been seeking out information on ground loot more than ever. So if you're here, you're in the know. And today we're going to be doing my favorite video to do each season. And that's the tier maker video, where we rank all the ground loot weapons for this season. Let's just say we've come far from the days of the blood red summer and base Pelingtons. If you enjoy the content, please like, and a sub is greatly appreciated. Keeps this train chugging. The response to the attachments video has been tremendous, and it's easily on pace to dethrone last season's video. So thank you, gang, so much for the support. Let's get ranking. All right, so starting with the 1911, this season they have a smaller mag than last season, so they're truly in line with itself. It's the 1911. The AK-74U, a very solid option. There are a lot of you out there that really like it. It's got a solid TTK 600, about 600 milliseconds. It's not the best, but this is silenced, so it's definite A tier for me. The KSP, I'll be honest, I haven't had too much run with the KSP. It seems more like a higher mag Diamati. It's got 30 rounds, silenced, but you know, I'm not taking a burst weapon against a bunch of these close range options. This AUG is a near meta AUG. I've got it B tier. I'm not a huge burst weapon fan. There's just a lot of good options this season. I think in previous seasons this would have been A or higher. Certainly it's higher if you like burst weapons, but for me it's B. It'll get the job done. It's silenced. Beach vibes, really good. I'll be honest, I haven't used the Krig too much. It's got okay TTK, but I think where it shines is its accuracy. It's known as a beamer, and that's even more so now with the barrel buffs. It's got 60 rounds, it's suppressed, it's got a 4x scope on it. This thing is sick. Makes me think about trying to max out a Krig and see how good it is. So it's definitely top tier option. Definitely something you can hold on. Go for stronger short range with your loadout. Go for maybe a sniper rifle if you want to go long range, even longer range, and just use this as like a sniper support. Top 5 option. The Bullfrog, solid as ever. It's suppressed. It's got 50 rounds, as solid as the Bullfrog's been. Definite S tier. They're just some better, more game opening options in terms of ground loot, but in terms of short range, this is definitely up there for this season. Common C58, so it doesn't have a scope, so I've put it B tier. C58's a really solid weapon. Got good handling, got good recoil, very strong damage profile. It is slow firing. It's kind of like an AMAX, even slower firing. So it's in that vein, AK, AMAX, that's how you'd use it. It's not scope, so it's kind of limited to range, but I think this will be a very solid common, uncommon option, but it's hard for me to put it higher than a B. I think it'll get the job done. The epic version is silenced and scoped, so I have it bottom of S. It's just held back by its mag, but it's AK AMAX, like 25 rounds is more like 35, 40 for other guns, so S tier. And if you're able to handle it well, it could be higher than some of the other options that I've put here, but we'll talk about that. The legendary is got a 45 round mag, so you're talking like 50, 60 rounds. I've just got the Krig higher because it's just, for me, easier to handle, but some of you may want to go for the power, so this might be higher than the Krig for you. The rare is scoped but not suppressed, so I've got it A tier. Higher, I've got higher than the AK-74U. I think it's just that range that you can open, those options that you can open it up with, just makes it a little more valuable. This one is just got the barrel on it, the task force, I believe, and so that's obviously better than the common version, but still in this kind of B tier. The Carvey, I've had some good times with it surprised me. I wouldn't say good times, but I had it last season and it just got the job done. This season's is not suppressed and it's only got 30, but on a burst weapon, that's more than enough. Just better options. Again, it's just kind of, a lot of these burst weapons are going to fall in the C tier for me. Sigma, it's always a B tier. If you pick it up at the right situation and you can drop a helicopter, that's phenomenal. Otherwise, it's kind of if you don't have anything else, but it'll get the down. It's definitely a down one. Send back up, but it's always end of B tier for me. This Groza, the Groza got a bit of a buff. Chest TTK is faster. It's like 550-ish range, so it's really good. This is not suppressed. One of the few legendary weapons that are not suppressed, but it does have 45 rounds. Definitely an SMG-like AR here build, so definitely solid. If you want to be suppressed, then maybe some of these other options are better, but you know, honestly, at the beginning in the chaos or everything's closer range, which is kind of changing now because there are tons of guns that can be long range now. You know, it's still a really powerful option, so that's why I've got it in A. The DMR, now in what I've tried, this is really hampered by not having a good barrel. It has a Lancer barrel, so shots that you would have thought you could hit, like 90-80 meter shots, are very inaccurate. So this is kind of mid only, and it's scoped, so it's really quite limited. It's suppressed. I'm gonna put it here. Honestly, it could drop further depending on how things play out, but for now I'm gonna keep it here, and we'll see. The Diamati, I know in my attachment video I'd kind of said, oh, it's down D, but honestly, just looking at some of the TTK charts and everything, it's still a solid option, and especially it's, you know, good handling. It's a pistol up close, so I still think it's B. I like it because of its handling, better than some of the burst options here. It is not suppressed, so if that's something that you must have, then that could sway you to go with some of these lower options. But I think a lot of you do like the Diamati. A lot of you are comfortable with the Diamati, so I think it's in B. I think people can get the job done with it. This Tundra is a, you know, long range meted out Tundra. It does have the suppressor, so it's not fully kitted for max range, but still, I mean, compared to what we used to have, you know, ground loot Pelingtons, this thing is miles ahead of what we used to have. So definitely a really, really good option. I'm putting it over the C58. We'll see. C58 could really rise, especially this epic version. But for now, putting it there. This DMR, yeah, it's rough sledding. Given they're not scoped, poorly barreled, kind of like an SKS level type gun. This is like very close. I think it just doesn't have the field agent grip. This one is not suppressed, so I would take some of these suppressed option or just gun that I feel better with. This ZRG, I'm putting it below the Tundra. This is kind of, it feels snappier. Some of you might just prefer the ZRG to the Tundra, so that would swap it for you. For now, I got the Tundra over the ZRG because this build's a little, I'm a more aggressive sniper. You don't really go for 500 meter shots, so I'm taking the Tundra in that scenario. This Farah, the Farah this season, oh my goodness, guys, this is a beam. This is S tier. Even though it's only got 30 rounds, it's gonna be a beamy 30 rounds. Sorry, S tier. Again, the 58, this is definitely much easier to handle than the C58. This has more power, better damage per mag, so you may like this over this. But for me right now, the Farah is just too accurate and too beamy to put below the C58 right now. The Fafar, now this gun, if this was like 2 seasons ago, this would have been easy S tier now. The Fafar, just the TTK, they've kind of, it's in the 600, it's like 600 now. The ADS is slow. Part of me just wants to put it higher, but I can't based on the numbers. It's a B tier weapon. It'll definitely get the job done, but you're gonna absolutely need backup. It is suppressed, so that's helpful, but just better options now. This Milano, okay, so the Milano was buffed. It does have an open bolt delay, so you do have to keep that in mind. It actually has a better TTK than the AK-74. It's like 520, but then you've got that open bolt delay, which bumps to like 580, so it's like slightly better than the AK-74. If you have to click twice, you're gonna introduce that bolt delay again. So that's why I think ease of use, I think the AK-74 is better. So that's why I put the Milano below the AK-74U. Groza, again, this one also has 45 rounds, so it's just right behind that one. This Groza is top of B. This Hauer, again, Hauer is always kind of bottom C. You know, it's not in a pinch. as your secondary to finish off people, it works. It can be helpful. So I'm not against the Hauer. It can surprise. It's just you wouldn't want it to be your primary at any point. This AUG, just a little better than this. I think has a grip versus this one doesn't have it. This Car-V, just a little bit over this Car-V. Nothing too major. This Krieg is really good. This is a great debate. You want Farah is like the most beamy and fastest TTK of like balanced TTK. This is like slower TTK but the most beamy. This is the least beamy but best TTK. So it's like pick and choose which one you want, and this could swap and depending on, you know, if I use it more and I get a better sense. But that's where I'm at now with it. This Krieg again, yeah, it opens your options up. That's why it's over some of these silenced but solid SMG options. This is still just too powerful to avoid this KSPs here. I mean, you hold both. Like this Groza plus these, that's a long beam, short option. They're not mutually exclusive. This Fafar is, for now, I'm gonna put the Milano. Just I think better handling, better ADS than this one, but we'll see. The Fafar is still consistent. Like you get once you start shooting, it feels really good. So we'll have to see how this Milano kind of plays out, but I'll put it over far now. This Tundra, just slight difference from that one. This Milano is upper B. Yeah, I think it's a good, yeah, I mean, they buffed that TTK, so it's definitely looking like a solid option. It is slow firing, so forgiveness up close is a bit poor, but with the buffs to the TTK, to the damage profile, definitely going to hit harder than it did before. So we'll see how that plays out. The Epic, I actually take this one over this one. I think this has the Ember sighting. I just kind of prefer not to be flashing a light everywhere. Some of you might prefer the Ember sight, so it's over that for you. This MP5, yeah, and Cold War MP5, guys, as ground loot is ridiculous. It's held back by the mag, so it's there, but just ridiculous close range TTK potential there. The rare one I've got, man, I think just the MG's versatility right now, how much range, you know, you're gonna run with both. You just keep this to dominate close and you dominate mid, but just this is a one-stop shop right now. It's just that good. Uncommon is just behind that one. AK-74U is slightly better than the Epic one. Yeah, I just never bother. I'm sure people can make it work. I'm sure people can get one hit down with it. Yeah, I just don't pick it up. Could be wrong about it, but I just don't bother. The Plaza, my goodness. Yeah, these two have been like the most commented. Like the Plaza's great, the Beach Fry is great. Great battle again. I'm taking the Fire because it's got the 3x. I love the 3x with that default reticle that's the T-pose. I'm going with the Plaza. This is great, but I think the Plaza is just that much better. It's got 45 rounds, so sufficient enough ammo. This Hauer is just slightly better. Okay, the QBZ. TTA is terrible. Is it accurate? Yeah. Should you be able to down somebody? Questionable. I've had instances where I just didn't get the down, and then, you know, enemy knows where you are, enemy's alerted. So yeah, I just don't. Honestly, I had it lower, but I think, you know, it's full auto. I can't put it that low, but it's not good. Really not good at all. This Diamante has 24 rounds, so that's good, but still not a good enough to really push it anywhere further. This is it, guys. Especially, okay, look. If you snipe, if you use a Kar 98 or Swiss or anything like that, this is number one for you. This is a meta build. The only thing missing is maybe you go airborne over a Serpent wrap. Some people, like J-God, prefers the Serpent wrap over the airborne, but everything else is absolute meta. It's got a GRU, it's got the combat recon, it's got the bruiser that helps with aim sway, aim stability now. It's got the 5 milliwatt, 100% meta gun. I don't think any ground loot gun has ever been as close to a meta weapon as this gun. So it's my number one. This is my primary sniper right now. For those of you that don't snipe, I would say the Farah is probably number one, but for me, Swiss is numero uno. RPG, forever lower B. This Serpent is it's a spotlight difference. So again, it's like, do you want to be visible or not? I tend to prefer not to be, so I prefer that. If you want the benefits of hip fire or what the spotlight brings, then you would take that over that. But both really good. This QBZ, these two are suppressed. Doesn't really make too much difference for me. This has 12 rounds, still in line with the rest. Stoner, got it here. Yeah, no, here. Just above the Bullfrog. It's still got a bit of a recoil. I thought maybe the barrel and everything would make it a beam, but it's still got recoil, similar like the C58. C58 just kind of hits harder. Stoner's still really good, and it'll be interesting to see how it competes against the MG82 after the nerf. But for now, it's here. This Stoner is... Do I take it over the Krig? I think I'm going mad capacity here. Krig is definitely more beamy, but this I like to have the added mag capacity, especially early game. This Stoner, you know, this was like beast level 2 seasons ago as a ground loot. It's B. I just think they're just better options, so it's still a really good option. These three for common loot are just like super good. So it's really dependent on the drop rate. If they've adjusted the legendary epic drop rate, you could be using a lot of these this season and getting a lot of kills with it. So we'll see if it rises, but for now that's where I've got it. MP5 is ridiculously good. I think just because of dominance up close, I do take it over the MG. Plus it's suppressed, which is more helpful up close. These are not suppressed. Taking it here. This Stoner, yeah, just slightly better. This Swiss near meta just doesn't have the tape, but it's still really good. Basically a meta Swiss. This ZRG has 3 rounds versus 5, but when you're trying to shoot 500-meter shots, that doesn't really matter. And then this ZRG is here. Yeah, for far, there's just too many good close range options. I think this opens up your possibilities more. So you might be wondering, where's the MG82 discussion? Literally, as I just finished recording, the nerf for the MG82 came out. They nerfed the recoil. It has more recoil. They added about 1 to 2 shots per range. They also lowered the initial damage range by about 8 meters, so it's slower killing. It's still really good at range, but you really need an optimized loadout to really hit those long range shots. So what does that mean for the ground loot? Well, I mean, it wasn't a ranged option from the beginning. It doesn't have a scope. I went in and tested it. I wouldn't trust it out beyond 50 meters. So maybe it loses a little range, but honestly, I don't think you would have pushed it out that far in the first place. So it doesn't affect it too much, but I do think I'm preferring options that are a bit better at range. So initially I had the MG82 here, but now I'm bringing it down to right after the MP5. Cold War, just these Stoners better at long. This is a better short range option. The sniper rifles are better. This is a better short range option. Comes down to, if you have no bullets, I would take this over these. If you have bullets, I would take these over this. So it's situational. The MG82s were in front of the MP5. I've brought them back down to here. Same situation. If you have bullets, I would go with these two. If you don't, I would go with these. Just 100 rounds starting ammo. That's gonna save your butt. So not a huge shift, but definitely a shift. I just want to keep you guys up to date with the latest. So MG82 has been nerfed. That's how I see the shift for the ground loot versions, and this is the final full ranking. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave comments below. Do you agree, disagree? What have you found to be working for you? Love to hear everyone's comments. These are my opinions. This is my playstyle. Yours could be different. That's always a disclaimer I put out there for Reddit, because I get tons of different comments, a lot of like hate. Sometimes I post and it's like half the people have downvoted my list, but you know, it's all good fun. I put it out there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys, it jogs your mind to think what you prefer, because when you got this many choices, you got to know what to pick up right away. You don't be wasting like 10 minutes standing there and then you get destroyed. Got some great content coming out. I'm gonna definitely be profiling some of these top tier, the Plaza Security, Beach Vibes, Subtronic, Swiss. Be on the lookout for that. Have those notifications on. Sub if you aren't subbed. Catch you guys on the next one.